Ever wonder how a company can become a global giant in the food and beverage industry? Let's unravel the tale of Nestle, a name that has made a home in our kitchen cabinets, a name that has been etched into our lives. It's the story of a humble beginning in the Swiss town of Vevey, back in the mid-19th century. Founded by Henri Nestlé, an innovative pharmacist, it started as a company that produced infant cereal. Fast forward to today, Nestlé has sprouted into a colossal entity, a multinational corporation with its roots firmly planted in almost every country across the globe. Its growth chart is a testament to its relentless pursuit of market expansion, a relentless pursuit that has made Nestlé a household name. From your morning coffee to your late-night chocolate cravings, from baby food to pet food, Nestlé's range of products has been ingeniously woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. Their products, over 20,000 different brands, cater to the diverse tastes and preferences of billions. Nestlé's market reach is a tale of staggering numbers. With operations in over 180 countries and employing nearly 300,000 people worldwide, Nestlé has left its footprints in every nook and cranny of the world. But this is not just a tale of commercial success. It's a tale of strategic acquisitions, aggressive marketing, and an uncanny knack for understanding consumer behavior. It's a tale of a corporation that has mastered the art of creating needs, then conveniently offering solutions. It's a tale of how Nestlé has become an inseparable part of our lives, a tale of how we, the consumers, have been ensnared in its intricate web. But what if the sweet taste of Nestlé's success was underpinned by a bitter truth? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the not-so-sweet side of this corporate giant. Let's peel away the layers of this multi-billion-dollar entity and examine what lies beneath. Let's scrutinize the dark underbelly of Nestlé's global dominance. Do you know where your chocolate comes from? Let's delve into the dark underbelly of your favorite sweet treat. Nestle, one of the world's largest food and beverage companies, has a less than savory history when it comes to their cocoa supply chains. Picture this: an idyllic cocoa plantation in West Africa, where a significant chunk of the world's cocoa supply originates. But beneath this picturesque facade lies a grim reality. Allegations of child labor and slavery have been haunting these plantations for years. These are not just baseless rumors. Multiple investigations and reports have peeled back the layers, revealing a bitter truth that's hard to swallow. Children, some as young as 5, are reportedly being forced into back-breaking labor, spending long hours under the scorching sun, wielding dangerous tools to harvest cocoa beans. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel. This is a harsh reality for many innocent lives, all in the name of satisfying our sweet tooth. Nestlé has repeatedly promised to tackle these issues head-on. They've pledged to eradicate child labor from their supply chains, and yet these promises seem to be nothing more than hollow words. Despite these public commitments, the company has been accused of doing little to change the situation on the ground. It's a disheartening fact that the glossy wrappers of our beloved chocolate bars hide a tale of exploitation and suffering. The bitter irony is that the sweetness we relish is born out of the sweat and tears of innocent children living a life they didn't choose in conditions they don't deserve. It's high time we ask ourselves the hard questions. Are we willing to turn a blind eye to these atrocities for the sake of a fleeting moment of pleasure? Can we continue to indulge knowing the cost of our indulgence? It's not just about a chocolate bar anymore. It's about ethics, about human rights, about the kind of world we want to live in and the kind of world we want to leave behind for future generations. A chocolate bar that leaves a sour taste in your mouth, isn't it? What price are we paying for a bottle of water? As we quench our thirst with a bottle of Nestlé water, we may not realize the immense cost it has on our world. Nestlé's water extraction practices have stirred up a whirlwind of controversy. They draw vast quantities of water from natural sources, often in areas already grappling with water scarcity. This extraction doesn't just leave the tap dry for local communities, it also wreaks havoc on the local environment. Picture this: a once thriving riverbed, now a parched landscape. The fish, the fauna, the very soul of the river all gone. This is the aftermath of Nestlé's water extraction. The local communities dependent on these water sources for survival are left high and dry, their lives disrupted, their livelihoods destroyed, and the environment, the effects are devastating. Depleted water levels disrupt ecosystems, causing irreversible damage, a thirst that can't be quenched by bottled exploitation. How far would a company go to sell its products? Consider a corporation, a titan in its industry, pushing the boundaries of ethical conduct. The name, Nestlé; the product, infant formula; the victims, the most vulnerable among us, infants in developing nations. As we delve into the murky depths of this scandal, it's important to remember that infant formula in itself is a lifesaver for many. It's a crucial alternative for mothers who can't breastfeed. However, the way it was marketed by Nestlé was nothing short of predatory. In the mid-20th century, Nestlé decided to expand its infant formula business into developing countries. They aggressively marketed it as superior to breastfeeding, despite the abundance of research highlighting the benefits of mother's milk. Sales representatives, often dressed as nurses, would visit new mothers in hospitals handing out samples of the formula. But there was a catch. Once the mothers had used the free samples and their milk supply had diminished, they found themselves reliant on the expensive formula. Many couldn't afford it and resorted to diluting the formula to make it last longer. This, coupled with often unsafe water sources used to mix the formula, led to severe malnutrition and even death among countless infants. The World Health Organization stepped in, establishing a marketing code for infant formula in 1981, but the damage was already done. Countless lives were affected and the trust in a brand was shattered. It's a stark example of a corporation prioritizing profit over the well-being of its consumers. A company so consumed by its desire for market dominance, it exploited the most vulnerable, leading to devastating consequences. So we circle back to our original question. How far would a company go to sell its products? In the case of Nestlé and its infant formula, the lengths were alarming and the costs immeasurable. A product meant to nourish, instead it nourished a scandal. What power do you hold as a consumer? A question that may initially seem insignificant, but in reality carries an enormous weight. In the grand scheme of global commerce, the consumer is not just a passive participant. You, as an individual, hold significant sway over the direction of corporate behavior. The choices you make aren't just about fulfilling your immediate needs or desires, they are powerful statements that echo across the boardrooms of multinational corporations. When you choose to buy a product, you're not just purchasing an item. You're endorsing a company's practices, their values, their impact on the planet, and their treatment of their workers. Your purchasing power is your voice, it's your vote, it's your stamp of approval. Now consider the potential impact of informed decisions. When we peel back the glossy packaging and delve deeper into the origins of the products we consume, we begin to see the true nature of our purchases. We start to understand the ripple effect of our choices on the world around us. Imagine if we, as consumers, started prioritizing ethical practices over convenience or cost. What if we decided to only support companies that treat their employees fairly, that respect the environment, that contribute positively to society? The ripple effect of these choices would inevitably reach the ears of corporate leaders. When sales plummet, companies take notice. When their bottom line is affected, they're forced to reflect on their practices. It's at this point that they may begin to consider the power of ethical practices, not just as a marketing gimmick, but as a fundamental part of their corporate identity. In the end, the power of consumer choice is a potent tool for promoting ethical change. As the saying goes, money talks and corporations listen. By making informed decisions, you're not just buying a product, you're investing in a future that aligns with your values. So the next time you reach for that chocolate bar or that bottle of water, remember the power you hold. Your wallet, a weapon for change. Use it wisely.